I really don't want this to be yet another I hate Yelp blog or post. And even though I truly do hate Yelp, especially being a local business owner, I truly believe that with the few changes that they can make, instead of driving a wedge between us, the small business owners, and the customers, Yelp can actually help us work together to help all of us and themselves to create a better business consumer community. And I really truly hope that somebody from Yelp does see this video and maybe gives it a little bit of more thought. Now, by the way, I think the main core part of Yelp is great. So if you want to look up a business and see where they're at, look at the pictures of their products and services, give them a call, get the driving directions, Yelp is truly #1 app or website to do that. I use it all the time. I'm actually very happy with it. It is the review layer of the app and the website that is really, I don't want to say corrupt, but is really broken. So here we go. First of all, stop promoting and defending liars. There is nothing in your terms of use or posting guidelines that prohibits simple, good old-fashioned lying. And what you permit, you promote. And by the way, if a business owner is caught either soliciting customers for reviews in exchange for discounts or any kind of goodies, or if business owners are caught submitting fake reviews, which I agree is not okay, it is just as dishonest, but business owners doing that triggers this massive manhunt from Yelp, and those business owners have their reviews removed, accounts taken away, and the whole hell breaks loose. The punishment is really harsh in many of those cases. If you're going after business owners when they're being dishonest, the same standard has to apply to the other side, which is consumers. But consumers get a complete pass from Yelp and can post literally anything. Now, I understand that Yelp doesn't want to play Judge Judy, get in the middle of these small disputes. I understand that, but when you made a decision to run a review website, you have to be able to somehow resolve those in one way or another. But you know what the first step would be to removing liars and dishonest reviews is at least stating that it's not okay. So they know that it's not okay to lie, it's not okay to submit a dishonest opinion, and there should be an account termination policy for those who are caught doing it. So at least set a framework to prohibit lying. Now let's get into, what I call is a Judge Judy phenomenon. I know most sites don't want to get into it because you have to have a bigger staff to handle this. Now, that I think is actually not that hard to resolve. Any business who accuses a customer of lying or dishonesty should have some sort of a coach's challenge, if you will, right to challenge a review. If a business wants to challenge a review for dishonesty and has some sort of proof that it's a dishonest review, then the business should pay a small administrative fee for Yelp to be able to review the case and issue some sort of a judgment. There has to be a punishment that a user takes for submitting a dishonest review. So many other sites have done this in different ways, but there is a way to have sort of a mini small claims court within the Yelp website, where you protect the integrity of the reviews that are submitted and also set a tone for the rest of the community that dishonesty is not going to be tolerated. Also, don't forget, in this model, Yelp will make money because of the administrative fees that business owners will pay. So everybody wins. Number 2, no filter. Stop filtering reviews. Stop discriminating against your own members. If you have accepted a member to your website, to your community, you should give every review that user submits the same weight as you give to the weight of a review of somebody who does this every day or once a week. So stop punishing and stop discriminating and picking and choosing which opinions are more important, which opinions are less important. You're almost creating second-class citizens within your own community. If you don't think a user deserves to have their reviews posted, don't allow their account or don't allow their account to post reviews. It is another form of censorship in the community that's supposed to be transparent. So let consumers make their own judgment on the reviews they want to see and the reviews they want to read. Number 3, stop encouraging haters. It is way too easy to submit a 1 or 2 star review that will bring the entire rating of the business down with only 2 or 3 people submitting what most of the time are either angry, unreasonable opinions, and a lot of those 1 and 2 star reviews are being posted by either people who are just angry, they were in a bad mood, they don't understand the concept or product, or in many cases, they simply want to post a negative review so the business approaches them and offers them a refund or some sort of a perk. And there are plenty of those people who take advantages by simply submitting 1 or 2 star reviews so the business owner has to literally bribe them out of it. And that is just wrong. That is not what you want on your website. Many other websites have figured out a way how to protect their communities from these haters. And it's really not that difficult. There should be some sort of a cooling off / resolution period where an unhappy consumer approaches the business owner so the problem can be fixed, and the business owner has a chance to not only fix the issue, but even learn about the issue. You probably will find out that a lot of business owners are not even aware of those issues. So let both parties figure it out, and after all that, let a user submit a fair review after all is said and done. Number 4, and this is no surprise to anybody, stop bullying business into paying your money. Now, I understand that you're a business that lives and survives on the revenues that it receives from business owners, but nobody likes soprano-style kind of salesmanship. And to be fair, there were many lawsuits that have been filed accusing Yelp of this, and Yelp has won all of them. Whether or not that is true or not almost doesn't matter. That is a reputation you have right now in the business owner community, and that has to change. Instead of giving us an impression of what's going to happen to us when we don't pay you money, I would suggest you tell us how we can benefit from being your customers and paying you money. I personally think that there are many. I myself pay money to Yelp gladly because I see a lot of benefits coming my way. And I think if you just highlight those benefits, a lot of business owners will not only change their mind about Yelp, but will be happy to be your customers. Now for that, you have to open up some of your statistics to us. Right now, as a business owner and your customer, I don't know how many customers you bring my way and how many of those customers were already on the way to my business and just wanted to check in on my rating on Yelp. Those are 2 different types of customers, and I think most people don't mind to pay for both types. However, there has to be clear statistics and numbers that I can see to understand how many I'm getting in which category. I think a lot of businesses are simply asking for transparency, honesty, and they would love to create a real equal relationship with you guys where both sides benefit. And lastly, number 5, be relevant. Businesses, much like people, change. Most businesses that you walk into today are very different from what they used to be 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and 10 years ago. It could be under different management. Many times they have entirely different staff, so you have to account for that. However, right now, a review submitted 5 years ago has as much weight as a review submitted yesterday, and that goes to relevancy. For example, if somebody filed for bankruptcy, in 7 years, your personal credit report will have it off the record, right? In 7 years, everybody will assume, listen, it happened a long time ago. We cannot hold this person responsible for even something as big as bankruptcy that happened such a long time ago for what they're doing right now. We're going to look at more recent information and judge the ability of that person to pay a bill or to pay off a loan based on that. Same with Yelp. Come up with a certain cutoff point after which reviews expire. Now, users should be notified that their review has expired, and they should have a chance to come back to the establishment and resubmit the review if they wish. But keeping the reviews that are 2, 3, 5 years old is a disservice to everybody, because it's not very likely that the business is still the same. Some businesses start out really great and then with time change into something average or sometimes even bad. So keeping up those great reviews from 5 years ago is a disservice to consumers. And the other way around, some businesses start out really tough and then get better over time, and it's unfair to have them consistently pay for what they've done 5 years ago now, where those reviews matter just as much as the recent reviews. So find a cutoff point like 1 year or maybe even 2 years and have those reviews fall off the scale, so each business has a better chance to improve their score and the consumers get a better and relevant score of what the business is like now. So those are 5 changes that I think if Yelp implements, the entire business slash consumer community will be better off. And I think Yelp will not only have a better name, but will have a chance to make much more money from both sides of the aisle. I should also mention that my business is the top rated business in its category for the entire city. So I hope a day will come when businesses like mine can use Yelp to connect with customers, to produce better services and products instead of hating Yelpers and Yelp in general. This can really be turned around very quickly and easily for everyone's sake.